Trying again won't hurt. Just don't give yourself away too fast. Yeah.
Let's fucking. Oh my god. Welcome. Hey guys. Oops. Well, I took that out of the shot. Yeah. Had that whole 2 minutes to fix that. I didn't fix it. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my god, good morning. Welcome. Hang on, let me get some coffee inside me. Oh my god, good morning. Wow. Ooh, that's good. Some new fresh batch of coffee there. There's been a countdown every now and then, Melanie. yeah. Listen, let me say something here. I think I figured it out. I famously hate religion. I mean, I famously hate it. You know, I don't hide it. I don't like it. But for some reason, I have friends that are religious. And I have family members, both of my parents, are now extremely religious. But is it religion that I hate? I'm not sure. Or is it them talking incessantly about something I have no interest in? You know, I want you to imagine a show called Tik Tok Pakiduk. I'm not even able to say that twice. It's called Tik Tok Pakiduk. I think I said it twice. Out of Thailand. That sounds racist. Tik Tok Pakiduk. And if that means something, I apologize. And we called to have a discussion. And I keep telling you about the amazing things that happened on Tik Tok Pakiduk. You don't even speak Thai. You have no interest in Thai. But I want to keep talking about Tik Tok Pakiduk. Tik Tok Pakiduk, man. So like the thing is, right? Like when he cooks there's this special spice called Strikishrak. And it's really good. And like everyone loves his spice, Tik Tok Pakiduk. And one time he was selling in the street and he sold 5 cases in an hour of Tik Tok Pakiduk. It was amazing. But I only eat meat and potatoes. No, but you don't understand. This is like a vegetable thing that you would absolutely love. No, I wouldn't love it. Like I pretty much only eat edamame. Like that's all I eat. No, but Tik Tok Pakiduk is so good. You would love it. Oh my God, trust me. If you would just try it. That is so irritating. That is beyond irritating when people do that. And I figured maybe it's not religion. It's the fact that people have to talk about the thing that they're into. That's what it is. They gotta talk about the shit they like. And I had a secondary thought that maybe people that do that are a little bit narcissistic. Raise your hand if you're George Trombley as well. I'm also narcissistic. So when the topic of religion comes up, guess what? I got a whole plethora of opinion on that. And I stand on a moral high horse with my opinion. I do. I'm like, listen, I don't know what's true. I know your shit isn't though. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I know your shit isn't true. There's no way your religion is true. I fail to believe that your religion is true. Let me turn the music down. I apologize. But I'll act as if I'm neutral. I'll give you the whole, and it's hard to disagree with what I'm saying too, because I'm like, hey, it might be true. I just, I'm not exactly sure, in the end, I don't know. And I don't know. But do I think the story that a certain relative told me about a village being protected in the war because some priest didn't want to be bombed and 15 bomber squadrons tried to bomb the village, but they couldn't because for whatever reason, he was protecting them. No, I don't believe that shit. I also don't believe that Mother Mary is showing up in rust stains in Mexico. Jesus Christ. Probably wasn't a god. Although, dude, a most interesting point came up from my father yesterday when we were talking about religion, by the way. Very, very interesting point that I had never considered. Wait a minute. Is this true? This might not be true now that I think about it. But he said, the reason Jesus didn't write his own book, people couldn't write back then. There wasn't a printing press. That is brilliant logic. It makes it, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, if you can't write, you're just gonna talk. And then maybe, 100 years later, someone that can write will write the story that they heard about you. And that it's good. It's good logic to me. But yeah, I man. Also, when people attribute things that happened in their life to religion, to God, to a God, that's the one I think that just irks me the most. Oh my God, guys. I needed a check and I got a check today. Oh my God, it was like $4,000 short on my rent. $4,000? Where are you living? $4,000. And then I got a check today for $4,001. Thank God. Thank God. Wait, but didn't you apply to the state for lost funds for that certificate of deposit that you had at US Bank, and it got escheated to the state and you got it back because you applied for it? That was actually money you earned like in 1982. Like whatever happened, they did it, or someone else did it out of the kindness of their heart, and they're like, thank the Lord Jesus. This Jesus guy, why does he get so much credit for things that other human beings have done? I don't get it. It's so funny how so many of my why are the people in my life religious and I'm so not? I don't get that part of it. Why am I attracting them, or are they attracting me? Like what is it? And I'm an asshole about religion. I'm not even nice about it, really. There are those times where no, I yell. But there are those times where I do that thing where I'm like, well, in the end, I don't know. And I try to be like, the reasonable guy, like I said, on my moral high horse. But sometimes I'm like yesterday in the middle of my father's debate, I was like, there is no God. And then I follow that up with, in my opinion, because I didn't want to be so strong about it, but because I don't really know. But then this morning he throws something this week. He's not going to watch this stream. If he does, Dad, I love you. But he won't. He won't watch my stream. Maybe he will. Maybe he does. I don't know. But he throws this thing to me like, you're very smart, but you're not smart enough to know if there's a God or not. And I'm like, oh, good point. Because you too are smart. And maybe you don't know if there's a God or not. But I can't say that to him. But I did. Afterwards, I said it. Of course, I tempered it with all of my normal niceties, but I love how people can say that, how are you so certain there isn't a God? Where do you get your confidence from? I'm like, excuse me. Where do you get your confidence from that there is one? Now, the difference between my father and every other religious person, and maybe this is just a thing that people that have Mexican ties to religion do, because my dad has a friend that's Mexican and she's 100% influencing his religion right now, is he has relatively modern proof of God, with these stories out of the war and, Mother Mary appearing in Mexico, but it's all bullshit. To me, it is all bullshit. You know, if I drop this 1,000 times a second, it will always fall. That was absolute proof of the gravity that pulls it down. And every day of my entire existence, this ball of fire has kept me alive and rotated around the earth. I would be completely an idiot to deny the existence of Earth, because I live on it. To deny, I meant to say the sun, but we'll work with the Earth. It would be like, to me, religion is like saying, I don't believe in Earth. I don't think it exists. Like, what are you standing on? I think it's called Turkey Mook. There's this great Thailand show you should watch called Turkey Mook about how we're only living on a scab on the arm of a giant. And that's why the earth is brown. It's actually his dried blood. But you said the earth is brown, but you just earlier said, well, oh, you know what I mean? I was speaking in the terms that you understood. Yeah. You watch a lot of Richard Dawkins as well? I do not. I read maybe a chapter and a half of Richard Dawkins' book. He was too much of a dick. I'm a dick as well. He just came off as a little bit too strong. But there's things that Richard... Now, I know I haven't read his entire book. I have it. I forget what it was called. I have it as an audiobook where he speaks a little bit in it. And maybe, you know what? Maybe there's another book I read in the past. I definitely agree with a lot of what he says. I think I learned from him the teapot thing. Like there's a teapot. You could tell people, hey, there's a teapot rotating the earth between the moon and the earth. You can't prove it. You can't prove it, and you can't unprove it. You know what I mean? You can't. I can't deny. I can't disprove God doesn't exist, just like they can't prove that he does. But the lack of evidence doesn't mean doesn't make for the proof, right? Yeah. I am 100% influenced by the books that I have read. 100%. Richard Dawkins is one. Why do I think Richard Feynman is another? I don't know if that's just a random name I have in my head. Yeah, I watch a lot, more than I should, of religious things. I am fascinated by religion. I'm fascinated by what we can believe. And let's admit it, us humans, we believe some stupid shit. Like objectively stupid shit. Scientology? We believe in that? Mormonism? You get your own planet? What is... Some guy found some golden plates in a forest and only he could read them with a magic hat or something? Come on, what? And it wasn't his first religion that he tried to make? Come on, man. It's right there. I mean, Scientology, he was a fiction writer. And he talked about making religion. And you know there'll be a Trump religion. You know there will be. You know there will be. We believe in anything. I mean, I used to believe above and below Orion's belt there was a planet named Serax and Corona. And I used to draw pictures of the animals. I called myself Mr. Magic. I have believed some crazy shit myself. I'm borderline thinking the secret was a little bit wacky. If you just believe it, it'll happen. You don't have to do anything at all. Just believe that it will. Believe I will one day speak German. Oh, so you're reading some books on German and maybe you have some German friends that you talk to and... No, but I believe I will be fluent. I just know that I will. And if I believe it and I manifest it, it'll happen. Actions, smactions. I watch Tricky Mook. It's a great show in Thailand. I highly recommend it. You know? I'm guilty of the same thing. And you know what? I've swayed back and forth, and I don't even deny that there might be a day when I get older and I'm facing my mortality even more than I already am, or I go to jail, you know, for tax evasion or something. Hopefully that's why I go. And I'm in jail with nothing. Yeah, I might go to God. I think most people that are in jail go to God, right? What else they got? Nothing, right? Except for Tricky Mook, which sometimes shows on the cafeteria. And I'm gonna tell you, Tricky Mook's just a great show. Did you see the episode where he sold 5,000 cases of Truck Duke weed in a month? Crazy, just crazy. I met these Japanese girls once. Oh my God. They were great. They were so bubbly. I just really enjoyed. I was excited. So I sold them one of my secret night tours, you know, the ones where I think I can sleep with them. That's what I used to do. Like, hey, because in the end, either I would get money or I would maybe, you know, sleep with one of them. That was kind of what, like, if they were cute, it'd be like, hey, you want to do my special night tour? Most of the time it was just ended up being a night tour. But these girls, I was like, they were fun. I was just having a lot of fun and I wanted to hang out with them. So we'd go in my car. And then they showed me a picture of this. It was immediately all about their religion, which was some guy in India. I can't even know. I don't even remember the term. It wasn't Tricky Mook, but it was something like that. It was like, there's a term for those people. Like he heals people. He hasn't eaten in 900 days, you know, and they were so into this. I remember they sent me later on a whole, you know, long letter. This is back in the day, right? I've been married 30 years. By the way, today is my 28th wedding anniversary. 28th. It's a nice thing to talk about. All those night tours, huh? Right on the day of my marriage. I have been married to a loving wife for 28 years now. But anyway, these girls sent me this picture. A funny side note. I've been married so long that I was actually still a tour guide when I was married. And girls and keep in mind, I was thinner and I was wearing a suit and I was funny and talkative and I would always like, I do things like, oh, you're cold, let me warm you up. I'd throw my jacket around the girl. I was always like doing stuff like that. Just always flirting, okay? So some girls would be into that, you know? And I'd always give my address to everybody, you know, send me photos of your trip. You know, I love that sort of thing. I have a big box of it, you know? VHS tapes from Death Valley and whatnot from people. But I've been married, you know, for so long. I would tell everyone I was married. I had a ring. I remember one time, this girl didn't believe I was married. She was so cute, by the way. Oh my God. And she was with her mother, you know, and she was that age, you know, she was that age where she needed to fall in love and get married, you know, Japanese society. That was kind of like nearing her 30s, you know, attractive, very attractive. And I did that thing, you know, I did that thing where I put her in my jacket. I remember it very clearly. You know, we were watching the volcano. It was a romantic moment. I was like, oh, you're so, you know, but that was like a 2-second moment. And then I went and probably did it to 2 other married women, you know, just to be fun. I got that letter from her saying, I don't believe that you're married. You had a ring. Oh no, you didn't have a ring. I didn't have a ring because I lost my ring like 6 months into my marriage and I hate rings. So I was like, good. Glad I lost it. I haven't worn, look, you see me, I actually forgot my Apple Watch today, but that's the only thing I'll wear. And she's like, I don't think you're married. You didn't even have a ring. And I had my wife write her back. Oh, I'd always have my wife write back letters to the girls. That's what I would do. Thank you so much for the photos. I'm George's wife. And you couldn't deny that it was a Japanese woman writing because my wife's writing is very, very, it reminds me of Tricky Mook, the time that he wrote 5,000 letters to each of the person that bought cases of the Shrek root. It's amazing, guys. You should really watch that show. Thank you for the happy anniversary wishes. I don't know. No, I don't think it was Moonies. There's some other term for it, like not a deity, but it's a word like that where he's a not monk or deity, but it's like a word like that. A yogi. Maybe it's a yogi. I don't know what it is. I do believe in myself, Glaceon. You know what? Let me tell you something about myself. and I'm probably affected somehow a portion by Jim Carrey and the way that he lost his own self, right? He became an entity where he's just, you know, not Jim Carrey. He's the persona Jim Carrey. And I'm not that level. Like, I know I'm George Trombley, but I know that I'm not. I am a collection of whatever this is with the identity of George Trombley. And so I don't take things, I'm trying at least not to take anything personal at all. Because it's just another entity, a group of things that have, you know, a group of thoughts, gut bacteria, cells. Have you ever seen the inside of a cell? It's like a factory. It blows my mind how crazy complicated a single cell is. And there's what, trillions of them? You know, there's trillions of connections in the nervous system. Like, I don't control any of that. I control nothing but this mouth. And even that I don't really control during a live stream. I'm just spewing out. I'm like an AI saying, what's the next thing that sounds good coming out of my mouth sometimes. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like running down a hill. You know, when you run down a hill, you're not actually running. You're just making sure you don't fall. You're only putting that foot forward so you don't eat it. That's what I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't take things personal anymore. I don't mean from what other people say. I do mean that as well, but I don't mean it as much as when I mess up, I did my best in the moment. You know, I don't know everything. I don't know even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of what happens even on this one planet. How do I know? The only thing I know, guys, is that Trick Truck Truck had this great moment where 19 million people bought 29 cases each of his Shook Shock root. It was amazing. You should watch that show. How irritating is that I keep talking about that show? Do I believe in determinism, free will, or something in between? What does that mean? What is determinism, free will? You see, I do believe in free will. There is free will. But despite me having free will, how come I don't do the things that I know I need to do, that I want to do? Something stops me and I don't know what it is. I'm finishing up my novel now, and I have a character in the novel who strongly believes in fate, that his cards have been drawn. I don't believe that. You have to understand, I believed in The Secret, and I still believe in The Secret. I still believe that. I still believe in the power of attraction and all of that. I think that the key difference is now, instead of just believing that if I believe it, it'll happen, I think you have to believe it for it to happen when you're taking the action to do it. Here's what I think happens, okay? Going back to that German model, okay? I want to learn German. Then you meet a girl like Melanie, who's German. You see a good book on German in the Japanese store. Really what happens, I think, is you think, I want to learn German. And then you start noticing German things. And then you gravitate to the things that we see. I want you to imagine it's like this. We see 10,000 things a day, and only the thing that we're thinking about do we actually recognize. And I think that's why the power of attraction seems so real. I really think that's what it is. It's like yesterday. Now, either our phones are listening to us or that, okay? But yesterday I talked to my dad in our long discussion. We talked about the water situation in Arizona. And I said, yeah. And they had licensed the water rights, in Arizona to some Saudi Arabian companies, and they were using a ton of water to grow alfalfa. What happens this morning on TikTok is that alfalfa story pops up. So either they're listening, which I'm sure that's also part of it, or now I've noticed it and I've correlated those two things. I think that's It's probably both, right? They're listening, and when I start thinking about a thing, I see it. I finally recognize it. Because, you know, you have those times, right? You're like, my cell phone, where's my cell phone? It's like right there. You know, I don't know if you have an Apple Watch, you know, there's a little, you tap that side button and then you hit that little square button and it'll ring your phone. I wish I could show you. It would ring your phone. It's like, ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, God damn it, where's my phone? Probably in the other room. Ding, ding, ding. It's right there. I somehow didn't recognize it. But somehow we know God. I don't mean to bring it back. I mean to bring it back to religion. Yes. What's a good length of time to visit Japan for? Gosh, good question. You never know what we're gonna get on these coffee shows. This would be my first visit. A good length, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, just about enough time. You know, when I go, I like to stay for a month. But honestly, if I lived in Japan, you know, I'd love to go to a place just for a week and then come back. You kind of want 2 weeks because part of it's going to be shot with your, you know, arriving and leaving. That first day, last day kind of shot. And if you have any jet lag, it's kind of shot. You catch a little bit of a stomach bug, you know, you lose a few days, you know. But yeah, 2 weeks is pretty good. And don't overbook your schedule. Have days to just walk around anywhere, you know, just walk around. Have days where you have no plans. Those are sometimes some of the best days where you say, make the plan. I'm just going to go to a random restaurant, you know, and don't do all touristy spots because you're going to be just bumping around a bunch of foreigners, Chinese people, Korean people, bunch of anime otaku, you know, you're going to be bumped. You want to go to, you know, normal places. CH fan says, I'm the same age as you, and I have been wanting to ask what it was like growing up in the 80s in Japan. Well, you know, my image of growing up in Japan in the 80s is completely affected by now it being 2023, and I'm looking back nostalgically on that because in the time, I didn't know it was the 80s. Okay? Like right now, I go, oh, we didn't have internet, and we didn't have cell phones, and this and that. But really, it was just like, that was bleeding edge at the time. You know, I remember the first time, we didn't have this in America, you know. I went to the bathroom and the toilet flushed on its own. I stepped away from the toilet. I don't know if you understand how crazy this was for me. And when I backed up, it flushed and this little sensor thing lit up. But you realize, I don't know if you know this, by the way. Infrared light can't be seen by the human eye. So if you ever see a light flashing, that's done just so that you know it happened. So when they have those lights, it's just to let you know that it's working. Not any other, you know, when you go like the paper towel dispenser and you put your hand in front of it and it lights up once, that is just a notification to you. That's not the sensor. Throwing that out there. Yeah, so I remember thinking at that time, I think I was 13, you know? I was like, oh my God, this is so advanced. You know? It was just so advanced. It's nothing now. It's everywhere. Matter of fact, it's crazy if you don't have that now. Remember the first time they had that thing on the wall? Just like this U-shaped thing. And you stick your hand inside. I took video of it. It was so impressive. I put it in one of my videos. I had never seen it before where you stick your hand and it goes, you know, it puts out the air and then you go in it. That was just crazy. That wasn't in the 80s, of course. That was much, much later. But when I look back at it now, I mean, it's super nostalgic, not having cell phones and driving my car around. And I would buy CDs, buying CDs and tapes, by the way, tapes of my favorite Japanese idols. I remember CDs were kind of newish, you know what I mean? And I remember, because the stores would still sell tapes, you know, everywhere had tapes. And I remember thinking, I don't want CDs because they're going to sound tinny. I thought they would sound metallic because they have that metal in them. That's what I thought. But I watched an anime yesterday. At least I started watching from 1995, which is when I was in Japan, right? I was in Japan in 1995. That was like is that around near the end of my trip? Let me think about this. No, I was still there for a bit. No. Let me think about this for a second. No, I had already left Japan, but it was right after I left, right? 1995, I was already back in America, I think. And I remember looking at it going, what's really changed in Japan? When you look at that, it still felt Japan, except for that payphone. There was a payphone and no one had cell phones. That's about it. So it's not definitely magic. It was just a time. I want you to imagine someone from 2060. What was it like? What's it like being in America in 2020, in the 2020s, man? You had so many crazy things happening. I mean, no, we're just living. You know, our tech is our tech. AI is coming into its existence, but still we're all just living, right? So I don't think living in Japan in the 80s was anything more than I was just a kid living in the 80s, you know? And I was a dumb kid. I was still making paper airplanes at age 16 and then setting them on fire when they got hit with a laser beam. In my imagination, I was lighting them on fire and dropping them into the gutter so they would stop burning. And I remember actually having this thought, and I think I prayed to God on it, to be fair, because I believed in God back then. I was like, dear God, please never let me not be interested in making these paper airplanes. One day I'll make one for you. One day I'll try to remember to pull a piece of paper from my printer and I'll make these, because I made these I don't know where I learned it. It's like an origami airplane. It's an amazing spaceshipy looking airplane. It can't fly at all, but it looks so cool. And I would paint them up and I would have whole fleets. I'd have carriers, you know, and then the fighter jets. They were basically a fat one and a thin one in my room. Did I get to see any of the American pop culture stuff back then? Well, before I left America, I was in Mississippi for a bit, staying with my my cousins, Cammie and Michael. And you know, they're American kids, and they had a mother and a father. They lived in like a very traditional family. I didn't have that. My dad was single. I didn't have a brother or a sister, so I kind of got to see real family. And they had HBO. We didn't have HBO, and they had cable TV, and they had like MTV and all that cool stuff. I think they had MTV. I think MTV was a thing back then. But I remember Madonna was the thing. Material Girl was big, and I had never really paid attention to that. I was into Blondie for a while, so maybe I did know a little bit more about stuff back then. So I did get all of that. But then when I went to Japan, I was in 6th grade when I went to Japan. I was 12, I think. I turned 13 that year. So I wasn't really formed yet as a human being, you know? Within maybe 4 years, first of all, I wasn't popular. I was the dork, and people, you know, made fun of me, but I was learning Japanese, and that was fascinating to me. And that's where I put all of my effort. And around 16, I was pretty good. And I was at my friend Scott's house on base. Scott was my best friend at the time. And his room was dirty. And I was stepping over something in his room, and I looked down, and it was this poster of this really cute girl. And I was like, wow, she's a Japanese girl, this beautiful poster. And I was like, dude, can I have this? And he gave me the poster. And I put the poster up on the back of my door in my bedroom, my first poster ever. I think I was 16. And it was Asaka Yui was her name. And I thought she was a model. So I remember seeing her face on magazines after that. And I started buying those magazines just because her face was on it. And then I learned she was a singer. And I had already bought, I think, 1 or 2 Japanese singles. I bought Watanabe Misato's Sentimental Kangaroo. I'm saying these names, you can find them on Spotify for sure. Sentimental Kangaroo. If you can't find it, great song. That was recommended by my first Japanese girlfriend after we broke up. I saw her in the music store and I was like, hey, bitch. You know, that's kind of, I'm not even joking. That's what we did. I was like, hey, bitch. She's like, hey, asshole. Kind of that kind of a thing. And then I asked her for a recommendation and she recommended that. And it was great. I remember it was a tape and I had a Walkman and I popped that into my Walkman in the car. And I remember sitting in that car listening to it and it was like, oh, such a good song. What a great song. And then I find out that Asaka Yui is also a singer. And I buy her first song. I bought Melody and other songs like that. My cat's name is Melody, by the way. Pure coincidence, I'm sure. But what was the question? Did I catch that, the pop stuff from that era? No, I ended up catching the Japanese pop wave. So Asaka Yui, Kohirui Maki Kahoru, Kudo Shizuka, Nakayama Miho, Nakamori Akina, who's now my post-teenager favorite idol. Koizumi Kyoko. Oh, Koizumi Kyoko was amazing. I would jam to that in my car like you wouldn't believe. Mostly tapes. I didn't have a CD player in the car. I even went to an Asaka Yui concert. I joined her fan club. I wrote her a letter. Whole bunch of stories with that. But yeah, that was the era. You know, watched a ton of Japanese TV. Made Japanese girlfriends. Some short, some long. Hang on, let me get into this. Moad. It's funny how you think religious stuff is dumb when you're a neo-atheist. What does that even mean? Oh, is that at Melanie? Okay. I thought you were addressing me. I don't know what a neo-atheist is. Okay, let me see what Melanie said here. The dumb stuff you believe as a kid. I attended Catholic kindergarten. Total cringe if I had to sing any of those religious songs. Dude, I remember singing, what was it? Michael rode the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Michael rode the boat ashore. Hallelujah. That's all I remember of that song. Was there any more lyrics to that song? Did he do anything? I don't know. Was he Michael from the Bible? I don't know. Moad says, belief in God is, or the lack of it, is not a matter of intelligence. Yeah. But let me ask you this, Moad. Honest question. This thing talks to me. I don't know, but it provides everything for me. And I know that when I die, I'm gonna be with this remote control. In Clock-a-Clock. Clock-a-Clock is where he lives, in Clock-a-Clock. And he sent his only batteries to power my universe. And in my heart, I can't tell you how many times in my lowest moments of despair did Jewin Wills, I believe that's how you read that, save me. Do you respect that belief? Does that sound intelligent to you when the names are all not familiar, that haven't been in your head your entire life? It is brainwashed in your head as much as capitalism is brainwashed into my head, or that money is real, or that property rights mean anything. It's all burned into my head. Same way that Jewin Wills saved me in my biggest moment of despair, and that's how I know Jewin Wills is real. Jewin Will, if you're real, give me a sign. Oh my God, did you see that? If you're real, give me another sign. I'm waiting for your sign. Please, Jedwin Wheel. Give me a sign, Jedwin Wheel. Eventually, the camera will turn back on. I believe. I have faith. There it is. Jedwin Wheel. Can you give me another sign, Jedwin Wheel? Oh my God, you've lit my world, Jedwin Wheel. Jedwin Wheel. I love you. Jedwin Wheel, you've always been there for me. I know you've never said anything to me, and it's only been things that I've imagined in my head. Jedwin Wheel. The greatest ever non-Wi-Fi remote control. I rest my case. I've proven to you that Jedwin Wheel is real. If you don't believe in Jedwin Wheel, you're gonna burn in an acid lake. That's what happened. It's a battery acid lake. That's where you burn. That's what I believe, guys. Religion isn't the problem. It isn't the problem. Really, believe what you want. I don't care. Nobody cares, for the record. Nobody cares. Just stop pushing it on me. Stop pushing it on me. In the same way that I'm pushing it on you, that I don't believe. But hey, this is my forum. You can leave. It won't be rude. If you left the live stream right now, I'd be okay. Normally, there's a lot less people here. Exactly. He shine. Did you see him shine his holy? Jedwin Wheel. Thank you, Jedwin Wheel, for the light that you provide, Jedwin Wheel. Wait until if I let Jedwin Wheel on long enough, I can hit a Jedwin Wheel button over here, and there'll be smoke. There'll be smoke coming from this side. Pure proof that Jedwin Wheel is real. If he wasn't real, how could that happen, guys? All right, I think I've killed that concept. Melanie says, as a kid, you believe anything people tell you without questioning anything. Hence, quote unquote, dumb. Luckily, when we get older, we start to think critically, at least most of us do. You think most of us think critically? My friends proved to me that that's not true. Because, with my friends that believe in God, I think the one thing I always want to hear from their mouth is, maybe what I believe isn't true. But man, is that not possible to get. It's just not possible. Like, I will tell you, honestly, because I don't know any of the religions that we have come up with or that exist could be true. Sure. Luck of the draw, maybe one of them is true. But I don't believe them. I don't think any of them are true. But is it possible? Yeah. Now get a religious person to say, hey, can you say God might not be real? Just say God might not be real. Maybe I've made a mistake in my beliefs. No. Because the religion itself says you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Those who deny the word of God. I know there's something in there about that. Because I don't remember the exact place, but I remember knowing where that was at one point in the Bible, knowing that particular phrasing when I gave up, when I finally let go of that belief. It was so hard to say that. So hard to say that God does not exist. The God that we know doesn't exist. That's commonly what I like to say, because I don't know. Look, there very well could be a creator, Oh, let me label you now that you're an agnostic or you're an atheist. Oh, you believe the possibility of a God, therefore I don't know what I am. Don't label me. I don't know what I am. Just like everyone that believes in Christianity, they all have their own version of Christianity. Every single person I ever meet, no one ever believes the exact same way. My best friend in high school, who I copied all my homework from, mostly, Karen, her church believed that you couldn't sing. No, you could sing, but you couldn't use instruments. There was something in the Bible that said you shouldn't use musical instruments, so they didn't. My girlfriend Tokuko went to a Pentecostal church. Why I got attracted to religious Japanese girls, I don't know. But she was Pentecostal or something along those lines. But I walked into her church once and they were doing that tongues thing. And that till this day is the thing that surprised me the most. And my very first serious girlfriend after Tokuko, the one I, could have married level, Saori. Saori was Baptist. My father was Catholic. My mother is Baptist. I got baptized when I was 8. So those of you that are going to pray for me, don't worry, I'm fine. I already gave my life to the Lord. I've already been saved. I'm going to be fine. The Lord has taken me in. I'll be fine. Marsh Orr says, actually it's I'm just going to call you Marsh. People's religion is mostly from the country they were born. Yes. And their parents. Not because one is more proven than others. Yes. And they don't see that. In the end, the final thing that kicked me away from religion was that there was too many of them. That was it. Like I said, Pentecostal, Baptist, Catholic, and the Jehovah's Witnesses on my newspaper route, and the Mormons that I knew from the Mormon church. They all believed different things. Completely different things. Whacked out things compared to, for the Mormons, everything else was wacky. And to the Jehovah's Witness, all the other guys were wacky. And they were all wacky to each other. And then there was Buddhism and Shintoism in Japan. And my girlfriend Saori's parents were some of the nicest people on earth, but they're going to go to hell? They're going to go to hell? Because they knew the word of the Lord. Their daughter had told them, but they're going to go to hell. These very kind people that always let me inside, that did my laundry for me sometimes. Just like nice people. They're going to go to hell? That was it. That was the straw that broke my back on religion. I was just like, okay, because from what I know about the Christian God, I know that I would never be that horrible of a God. I would never be killing that many people. I would never be that jealous. I wish Matt versus Japan all the well in the world, even though he was my rival. Never wanted him to die. Never said you can't watch his videos, right? Matt's a great guy, by the way. I bring him up every now and then just because I don't have a lot of friends in that field, and I like Matt. I wouldn't consider us friends because we don't probably talk like friends. I don't send him stuff that I'm excited about, but we're definitely acquaintances, and when we get together, it feels friendly. But I wouldn't spite him, wouldn't send him to hell because he doesn't believe what I believe. Or if you don't believe in my existence, you don't burn in hell for existence. I would never be that God. That's why I can't believe in that God. And that's why I think somehow, I don't think this must have been said by other people, but I don't think we were created in God's image. I think God was created in our image. That's what I think. Moad says, you would realize that we cannot come from nothing and can't have a chain of dependent things infinitely regress. So there has to be an independent cause for the dependent thing that comes after. Let's say if I agree with that. Where did God come from then? Where did the Creator come from? The logic doesn't work. Yes, it makes sense that something has to have a start. That's literally how we exist as human beings. When Jedwin Wheel was created, somebody created this, right? Somebody. It didn't just pop and poof up. So, okay, agreed. There is a creator. Who created the creator? That's the thing that we cannot know. I don't believe, I think it's a cop-out to just say they always existed. The God always existed. Think about that. Like, how do we square with that? I don't know how to square with that. You're right. That is the one thing that I think, well, there has to have been a start. And whenever I think that, I just remember, oh, yeah. But where did they start from? Where did they come from? If I've always been here. Really? You've always been here? Yes. I've always been here. And one day I was just like, kind of bored. I'm gonna create things, and I'm gonna know everything about them. But despite that, I'm gonna have to kill them in a flood because they got weird on me. I'm gonna kill everybody except for this one boat of every animal and one family. That's it. Because I messed up. I know I'm super powerful. I messed up. Just gonna hit the reset button here. Boom. No more people. One group. Although, you know, I am God. What am I thinking? Kill everybody and maybe put a new Adam and Eve. I could do that. Why would I have to save Noah? Makes no sense. But I'm God. It doesn't matter. I do whatever I want. I work in mysterious ways. You'll never understand how I work. Just believe. Have faith. Faith literally means believe without proof, doesn't it? Have faith. Now you'll come back to me and say, but you have faith. I do. I have faith. I have faith that when I'm driving down a dark road and my headlights only go a certain distance, that there will be a road there. I believe. I have faith in that. I believe in a lot of things. I believe that even if our country completely falls apart, I'll probably be okay. I'll probably be okay because property rights will probably still be a thing and I own my houses, you know. And I believe that even if America falls apart, maybe I can just move to Japan and things will be, I believe if I shut out the news, nothing will really change. I believe in that. I have faith in that. I know I'll die one day. I believe in that for sure. I don't think I'm going to actually be able to transfer to a robot like I wish I could, you know. Maybe. I knock on wood every day for the sole reason that I want to see what happens. That's it. I want to see how the earth ends. That's it. Curious. I have curiosity. Melanie says, also, do you really think an quote unquote almighty being cares about tiny insignificant beings on a specific planet that is one of billions and billions of planets? Do you care about the ants under your feet? I had a similar thought when I was taking Chinese class at UNLV. I had to park in the real far off parking spot. So I had a lot of walking time. And there was this one area between the sidewalk and the parking lot, this grassy area. And I'd walk on it. And I'd look down at the grassy blades and I'd think, does God know the name of these blades of grass? No one does. Not even the guy that put the sod down or the person that originally seeded that patch of land wherever it came from. No one knows. I don't think God knows. Could God know? Yes. Because AI, right? Like, look at it. We have created AI, which basically has access, instant access. You ask it a question and it knows the answer immediately, right? Its only limitations are the ones put onto it by humans, right? And yeah, it has delusions every now and then because it's dealing with human data. But look at it. It's the closest thing we have to God. We can ask it a question and it immediately gives us the answer, right? It knows everything. It might know every blade of grass. It's a computer. Maybe God's a computer. Maybe we are a simulation. I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I think it's really fascinating. As I write my novel, I write very complicated characters with very difficult things in their life. And I wonder if any troubles in my life, are they just someone, am I a character in a novel that someone is putting me through tribulations to make an interesting story? Because I'll tell you, when I first wrote that book, I didn't give him any problems and it was boring and I had to give him problems. I had to have him have quirks in his personality. He had to have pain. He had to have defeat. He has to have something to fight for. So I gave him all of those issues. I also gave him a lot of money sometimes. Give him motivation to do things. These are all things that happen to me. Is art imitating life? Or is life the simulation or the book that someone else is writing? After all, we say when someone dies, the last chapter has been written. Don't we say that? Don't we say the book of life? Isn't the Bible a book? Which a lot of people base their life on? What if we are just in a book? That'd be cool. George, you quit believing in God because of very specific details of Christianity. No, not true. Well, yeah, the hell detail. Okay, let me give you that. No, I told you why I stopped believing in Christianity. There was too many religions. Let me say this. Moad, I wrote a book as God called My Eternal Book, where I corrected the mistakes of God. Oh yeah, it's blasphemous, definitely, because I'm definitely not a God. Where am I? And I don't know it, and I've been sent here to feel human life as God, as a human, so that I can understand the creation that I have created. That is also a possibility that I am God. No, I'm not delusional. I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a possibility that you are God, Moad, or that we are all gods. Here's the thing, though. If I were God, my word, the Bible, would be indestructible. It would be. And everyone who read it would understand it. There'd be no parables, no things you could ignore. And if you read the Bible, you'd understand it. You could still choose to not believe it. You could still feel free to break my rules that I gave you. Although if I were God, there wouldn't be any rules. There'd be no rules. Law of chance. You can listen to my book. It's on Tissue Box channel. That is my belief as a God. That's what I believe. If I were God, that's how I would feel. I'd be just and fair, but I wouldn't intervene. I wouldn't intervene. Do you like it when people tell you what to do and what not to do? I don't. Let me be. Moad, I could tell you're a believer, and that's fine. But I did look at the big picture more than you believe. I think I look at the big picture more than most people, honestly, because I have no set belief anymore. And I love reading about Christianity more than any other religion. Muslim religion is just too far away for me, you know. The Indian religions are very interesting to me. Buddhism, fascinating. I don't study any of those. Really, it's just my own history was Christianity. So that's about the one that I focus on, okay? And I'm sorry that maybe you feel a little bit threatened now, Moad. I'm sorry about that. You said, how are you a God, but you don't know that you did exist? Because I chose to not exist, Moad. I chose. I'm guessing that's what I did. I wrote a very story about this called The Train, where a man dies, and upon death, he's greeted by some angel, demon, whatever creature who says, welcome back to the now. And he's told, no, you chose life. What do you mean chose? Yeah, no, you chose life. And life means you forget about every other thing that you know and you start from scratch. And sometimes you grow in abject pain, failure, poverty, right? Sometimes it goes well. You don't know. It's luck of the draw. It's like rolling dice. Law of chance. And then you die and you have some cool stories to tell. You know? Over time, you have all these cool stories. And some people are adventurers. They keep going back. You know? Did you not watch how bored the demons were? In Death Note, I couldn't remember the name. In Death Note, did you not watch? They're so bored he threw down the Death Note book. Come on. It's boring in heaven or hell or wherever they are. So I came down. Maybe that's what happened. I mean, I'm curious enough as a human being now to think, I thought this a lot. Like, man, if I go to Japan, maybe I should just take up a bunch of corporate jobs for a while, just see what it's like. I thought about working at McDonald's here. Do you realize that I don't need to work? I don't need to work. I'm doing okay without working, or else I wouldn't be able to do these live streams. And I thought I should work at McDonald's or Wendy's or Taco Bell, Marshall's, Ross, Walmart, just for a month to see what it's like. It sounds interesting to me. Why wouldn't I, as a God, think, how about I just live a random life? You know? Why wouldn't I? And would I want to handicap myself by remembering everything? You know how sucky it would be to remember that I was the Almighty? It'd be horrible. Melanie, you're so naive. What happened to the Japanese from Zero Book 2 revision? I'm not doing it. I'm taking a long extended break. It's a myth. Yes, it's a myth. You believed in the Japanese from Zero Book 2 revision? I thought about this morning before I was going to start the stream. I was like, man, I did a whole video on Japanese from Zero channel talking about, hey, I'm going to be reading Japanese text here, so come check out my live stream. And now I'm not. Today, at least. I did yesterday, and I will again. But I got triggered this morning by my father's text. I'm going to read it to you, actually, while we're here. Because I reached out to him in the morning, apologizing for my aggression last night. I said to him, hey, sorry, I feel like I might have gotten a bit aggressive last night on the phone. He's my dad. It actually ended well. He didn't hang up on me, you know, but he is uber religious now, way more than more. He's called me up to tell me new stories he's learned about Catholic. It's obviously Catholic. And he said, okay, let me do his voice though. You are very smart, but not smart enough to make a determination of whether God exists or not. Just because you don't feel it doesn't make it not true for the whole world. I am also very smart and have faith that God, all capitals, because he has to write it in all capitals or it's disrespectful. I have faith that God exists, and I will see my mother and father and wife again when my time on earth ends. It costs nothing to believe in God. It costs nothing to be kind to others. My salvation is with God. And whether you believe it or not is your concern. Judgment Day comes for each and every one of us. Not everything is black and white and written down. My response, Dad, I can say the same thing back to you. You aren't smart enough to know God exists as much as I'm not smart enough to know he doesn't. In the end, I don't claim to know anything. That's my only claim. I don't have the confidence you have in the afterworld. I don't. I really don't know. It could be anything. That's why I write stories on it. I'm fascinated by it. I just have wishes and ideas of what I want or what it could be. No more or no less. You could be right. Who knows? I certainly don't. You just have gotten more religious recently, or perhaps more vocal so the topic gets more heated. I have been steadily anti any dogma for most of my life. I do, of course, have friends that are even more religious than you. It's okay. But sometimes I heat up because it all seems ridiculous to me, as ridiculous as flat earthers. But it doesn't mean I need to be overly aggressive. Nothing I've ever said or could say would change your or anyone else's beliefs. And I know that. Moad will never, there's nothing I could say in this stream that would change Moad from his position on God. And frankly, to be fair, nothing Moad says will make me believe. Okay? And the same thing is true. Nothing anything can say will change my fundamental belief that without proof similar to, look, there is God right there and you can see him, and not a representation or an anecdotal evidence is going to get me to believe. Weird, isn't it? I talked about my daughter. Mari is similar to me in so many ways, but in other ways, the exact opposite. And I think this in regards to religion is the same with us. You believe and I don't. But in so many other ways, we agree. I was trying to come back on common ground. No response. He read it, but no common ground. I find that when people don't respond, either they completely dismiss what you've said, or they completely accept what you said but don't want to, or in denial that it was well written. Because if he comes back and says, yeah, you're right, he'd have to admit that he also doesn't really know. Because I remember believing in God and still having a lot of, every now and then I'd have like moments of like, but is he really real? And if you don't have that, if you don't have the moment where you think God might not be real, I think there's something wrong in your head. I really do. Like, how could you not question everything? Just double check. Like, do you not check to make sure you're turned off the stove? Do you not check to make sure you paid your mortgage? Or your scholarship is still there? Or, you know, do you not check things? Nope. That's the one thing I never check or question at all. 100%. Because you gotta have faith. Yes. Alastar says he's trying to share something he finds meaningful with you. Although the way he chose to do it is not ideal. Most everyone finds God in old age, but by then it's usually too late to fully integrate it. Yeah, I listened to his story the whole way through. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. The whole time I just kind of placated it. The whole time in the back of my head going, this is so stupid. I hate this phone call that I have to be in with my dad, but he's my dad. And I give him a lot of leeway, you know, and I'll even ask him follow-up questions about it. But then somewhere in that call, he pushed it a little bit too far with me. God, this and that. And I was like, Dad, that doesn't work for me. There is no God. I think you know what it was? We were talking about Israel and Palestine. And he fails to see that there's maybe a genocide happening and that maybe Israel overreacted. And he's like, well, if you had a man living in your backyard, blah, blah, blah. So, dude, but you know what? That backyard wasn't my backyard at first. I just built my house there. And I pushed the people that live there. And he's living in my backyard because, and I tried to go with that analogy, you know, it was a little bit hard to push it, but you know, I've seen more than one video on the history of that whole area, and it seems like the Palestinians were there first. And then my dad just blanket said all Arabs should be dead. You know, I was like, really, Dad? All Arabs should be dead? You know, it was like, it got into, but I don't think he believes that. I just think in the moment he got heated. You know, it's the same as like, he doesn't like Trump anymore, but when he did like Trump, you know, he didn't care what Trump did. It's like, Dad, you think it is kind of strange though that he seems to be colluding with Russia, is what I said, you know, at the time. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. But at the time I believed it because I was in that news bubble. He got up in my face. He's like, I hope he colludes with Russia. Like, what? No, you don't. No one thinks we want our president to collude with any country. But hey, I think in the heat of the moment you say things, right? And I give my dad that leeway. You know, he's a emotional human being, as am I. I've said things I don't mean when I'm yelling at my daughter, and he's said things yelling at me that he doesn't mean, you know? He's actually a very fair person, and he does, believe it or not, respect other people's faith. He's just fascinated by Christianity, and it is, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not just meaningful to him, it's hugely meaningful to my father. And he's alone now. His wife passed away last year of like, I think they were married 20 years. She was an amazing woman. She passed away. He's retired. He's alone, which he says he loves to be alone. He's fine. I tried to reach out, and I'm a little bit hurt, but I said, hey, Dad, what do you think about us meeting up in a coffee shop like once a week and, I don't know, learning how to play chess or something like that, just shooting the breeze or playing checkers or something? He didn't respond for like a day, and I was like, oh, he read it. And when I don't respond, it's because I'm, you know, I don't have an answer or I'm not interested. I said, well, if that doesn't appeal to you, I understand. He said, yeah, it doesn't appeal to me. I reached out. I felt I had compassion, empathy for, you know, getting older. I already see it. I already see that when I'm older, I will be alone. I already know this. The moment my wife is gone, If I hadn't made efforts to make new friends, I'll be alone. I mean, my only friends, recently I lost 2 people, not by death, by the way. We're just not friends anymore because I'm an asshole. That's purely why. I am not a good friend, okay? Kathy, no longer my friend. We were great friends. She's my sister. I still upvote her videos on YouTube, and I still love her. She's got her own dogma. She's not religious, but she's got her own dogma. Very Republican, you know, very much caught up in, from my perspective, that Fox News mentality. But I'm fine with that. We've been great friends. But I pushed something beyond. And we didn't recover. And I lost that friendship. And a guy that I respect, my trainer, a guy named Clark, Kathy hasn't officially like said we're done, but I know it's done. It's definitely done, because all of my efforts are failing for us to still hang out. Clark was just like, thank you for the memories, goodbye. Now he's a little bit sensitive, but he's gone because I didn't respond to him soon enough, and I didn't pay attention to his needs probably as much. I blame myself for that. Despite Clark being an asshole as much as I am, I still will go ahead and blame myself on that one, you know? But I still take all of the things that he taught me, you know, about my body and helping me fix my back, you know? And I think he's a genuine human being. And I love Clark. I don't think he thinks that I do. I don't think he cares enough about that. I think he's been burned one too many times, and when he feels burned by me, but I definitely don't think I burned him. I just think I don't answer my texts soon enough. I think that bothered him a little bit, you know? But I'll be old and I'll be alone. And feeling that, I reached out to my father and said, you know, let's do that. And he rejected it. So maybe he does like to be alone. I don't mind being alone. Plus I have live streams. There's 25 people watching right now. Even if I had 2 people watching, I'd be happy. You know, I'd be happy with that. So hopefully I still have that. Hopefully I still have enough people watching me when I get older. Hopefully I'm relevant, you know? But I accept that, but I have a lot of fear in getting older. I don't want to get older. I don't want to be completely irrelevant. I'm already completely irrelevant mostly. I mean, no one really cares. To be fair, there's a few of you, right? Pity party. We'll stop that right now. Glaceon, you said, I'll be here, George. You're my friend and teacher. You know, Glaceon, I don't think you will be here. You could be. You might prove me wrong. But you know, you have to remember, I've been doing this now for 20 some years. And there's not one person from 5 years ago here now. They'll pop in every now and then, maybe. So, oh man, this is a great memory, but they won't stay. It's okay. I'm the same way. You know, it's just like you move on, right? Whether I never see Kathy again or Clark again, it just is what it is. You know, I have been thinking I got to go to like one of those meetups for book authors or something like that and make new friends, you know, in my area. Moad says, as an atheist, George, you have to understand your dad. He's emotionally connected to his religion, unlike you, because he has something to lose. So I think it's better to avoid talking religion. I can't avoid it, unfortunately, Moad. Trust me, I don't randomly start talking about religion with anybody, really. I respond, though, and then it becomes the topic. My dad keeps bringing it up. He's so religious now. It's the only thing happening in his life. This neighbor, that very nice lady, Mexican Catholic, super Catholic, and he's been going to church with her, and he joined the Knights of Columbus or something. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing all this stuff. That's all that's going on. So of course that's what he has to talk about. He has nothing else to talk about. And I have a problem where I can't not engage. My wife does not have that problem. My God, my wife's a saint. If the Catholic Church needs a new saint, it's my wife. Because she can listen to the drivel coming out of someone's mouth and just go, so ne, tahen da ne. And it's like, wow, how are you okay with like, So kamoshirenai. I'm like, you're okay with what they just said? You're not going to fight, defend? No, I know you don't believe that, but yet you're okay. But she doesn't. I can't. I try, but I'm too competitive. I'm too competitive. And like I said, I'm an asshole. I'm not just saying that. That's not just me. Like, if we became actual friends, Glaceon, I don't know if you'd like me. I don't know if you'd like me. I have two relatively new friends. Nick, who's weird, and that's why we're friends, but very smart. He's very, very smart. But we somehow mesh in certain areas. I still see him as naive in many areas, but he's young, and he's been sheltered his whole life. But I consider him a good friend. I feel like he's the kind of guy that'll be around for me. I don't know why. There's this is going to sound mean, but it's not. He feels loyal like a dog in terms of like, he's just a good guy. You know what I mean? I like him. This guy Shimewaza. I wish he lived here because I probably hang out with this guy. I love doing live streams with Shimewaza on this channel. It's probably weird because we never actually met, and maybe he doesn't feel that way. But I like him. You know? I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, but I'm an asshole. I think I was thinking most friends that I have can only handle me for a certain time and then they kind of drop off, right? I feel like Nick would be there. I feel like Nick is okay with it. That's all I was trying to say. But I understand that my dad wants to talk about that. That's all he has to talk about. That's why I started this whole conversation saying, I don't think religion is the problem. I think it's his incessant talking about the thing that he's into. I can't talk to him about language things. You know, I can't. He doesn't know language. The only thing we can really mesh on is real estate because he did real estate for all that time. And I could talk about contractors and I try to focus on those things, you know, talk about real estate, the real estate market, you know, interest rates, you know, and, you know, had to get some work done at the house and I found a new vendor, you know, that sort of stuff we mesh on tremendously because he did real estate and property management for 30 years, you know, and I'm a real estate agent. Can you believe that? For some reason, I'm a real estate agent. Moad says, I'm kind of the same way as you, but I think you got to do it for your father. And I do. I want you to know, Moad, the only reason I have a relationship with my father is because I tolerate it. I accept, I let him be Republican. Let him spout hate out of his mouth. Absolute things that I do not disagree and go, yeah, absolutely. Because he's my dad. Because I want the other things because I selfishly want a dad. I don't have a mother. I do have a mother. I am going to go meet her, by the way. I booked a ticket to go to Norman Park, Georgia. I'm going to be visiting my mother, who's also very religious. But I'm going to go see my mother. And I hope I have an enjoyable moment with my mother. And I hope I can hug her. Oh my God. Oh my God. I severely hurt not having a mother. It's still weird to say I love you, Mom. It really is. You know who I call Mom? I call my wife Mom. That's a Japanese thing. I call her Mama. And she's my mother. She is my mother. She's my wife, my mother, my best friend, and my sister. She's all those things. Yeah, back to my father. I do a lot of things in deference to my father because I can't keep not seeing him, you know, and I can't. And it was Mr. Fukumachi who really got me thinking in this way, who passed away about 2 weeks ago. But he said it. I said this the other day. I'm sorry. This is like a repeat. It's like my best hits. But I was having a big argument with my dad, and I was talking to Mr. Fukumachi, and he's like, you know, your dad's gonna be gone one day, and you're gonna wish you had this conversation. And I'm not saying that because I know beyond. I'm not saying that because I'm only saying that because it happened with me. My father died, and I had unfinished business with him, and he died with me being angry, you know. And you should know that those discussions you're having aren't important. Those debates you're having aren't important. You know? They're not. Even the religious stuff. you know? I really should go watch a movie with my dad, you know? We should watch a movie together. He's invited me, you know? Hey, we should watch that movie. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And then I never do, you know? He loves to sit in his old office. He's got this big TV on his wall. Just loves to watch it. I should go watch Billy Jack with him. He used to love that movie. I should buy it on Blu-ray. Those are things I should do. Honestly, with as many times as I saw the 10 Commandments movie and Ben-Hur, I should watch those with him, you know? Why not? The only problem is he'd be like, look at that, the power of good little Lord. I'm like, it's just a movie, Dad. Look at that, he split the ocean open. Oh, that's crazy. Could you imagine, George, what it would be like if you split the ocean open? TV says George equals not religious. George's stream equals like a Catholic confessional. Open-mindedness has nothing to do with atheism. Well, let me ask you, Moad. Let me ask you an honest question. And please type it out. Type out the full phrase if you agree with me. Is it can you say it might be possible that my beliefs are wrong? It might be possible. Just say that. Do you think it's possible? I feel like you're pretty certain. Moed says, I have a similar experience to your friend, and he said nothing but facts. You mean with Clark? Not sure which friend you're talking about. Gideon Rankin says, LOL, gotta live life literally not caring about or giving your opinion to anyone, even when it's effective. Yeah, you know what? That's the real truth. I found that every problem I have with my daughter or my wife or my father or any friend is because I spouted my stupid opinion. That's it. You've solved, like, that's it, Gideon. By the way, that's a very religious sounding name. Gideon, isn't that in the Bible? Alexa, who is Gideon in the Bible?
Gideon is a judge and military leader in the Bible. He is also known as Jerubbaal and Jerubbaal.
All right, Alexa, stop. Got it. So he's a judge and a military leader. Okay, Gideon, sorry. Yeah, it's true, though. There's a book that Kathy actually recommended to me. I think it's called... Why am I thinking The Devil Wears Prada? It's from that guy that wrote another book. It's like Conversation with the Devil or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, yeah, don't give your opinion. No unsolicited opinions. Unless you're doing a live stream where people are tuning in to watch your opinion. Alastair says, that's the answer to all problems. It really is. Oh my God. Oh my God. I like what Japanese people do, you know? So desu ka? To me, when a Japanese person goes, so desu ka? You have just said the stupidest thing to them. That's like the highest rebuke. So nan desu ka? That's it. That's what Japanese people do. That's why I get along with them so well. They're just like, good boy. You and your stupid beliefs. You can say what you want. We'll always be friends. You don't know that, Melanie. But you know what, don't Melanie, let me say this. I don't know why I kind of didn't think about you right now in my friendship circle. Because you are a friend and you're someone that I think to share things with. You are a friend. I don't know why I didn't really pop in my mind. Yeah. You don't instantly come up for some reason, but you are absolutely a friend, a true friend. Before you even worked for me, we were friends. And now that you're not working with me anymore, we're still friends. We still talk. I still think about you. I still want to send you things. You still send me things. Yeah. Hopefully that falls in with the you can say what you want thing, you know, because for all the stuff I've said about your German accent. Also, what happened to you doing that accent school thing? You were going to get rid of your German accent. Like there was one time me and Melanie were talking and she reverted to this American accent that she used to have in high school. And I was like, that's amazing. She can do an amazing accent. She just doesn't. Poor Melanie, always getting the rough end of the stick. Yeah. It is true. I told you I'm an asshole. Melanie can attest to that. But for some people, there's an alert of that. I'm like negging them or something. And they're like, I don't know what it is about it. You know what? He's an asshole, but he's genuine. There's something about it, you know? For the people that are attracted me for a while, you know? Alistar says, I found your videos immensely helpful and motivational from the start, and I have 2 of your books. I would never see myself not supporting George Trump. Well, hey, don't say that. You never know. You never know the future. Glaceon. The best New Year's resolution is to be George's actual friend. You're my stan, Glaceon. You saying things like that make me not want us to be together.
I don't like it.
TB says, what does that stand for, by the way? Tuberculosis? What does that stand for? You are a charismatic soul. I like that. Melanie says, I finished that course because the guy was like, I can't teach you anything anymore. You just have to apply what you've learned. Glaceon says, I'd probably drive you crazy with my constant obscure jokes and trolling. I'll tell you what I have a problem with, Glaceon. Anyone who's not me. I gotta be the center of attention for the most part. So I'm telling you, that's it. Wow, Glaceon, you're so strong. Where is that? Wow, Glaceon, you're so strong. I don't play that one enough, huh?
Wow, girl, you're so strong. Wow, girl, you're so strong.
I love her quotes so much. Taco Bell. Dude, man, do I love taco. I'm gonna get Taco Bell today, just in honor of you, TV. I'm not even joking. I haven't had it in a while. I haven't eaten breakfast yet either. Back to the topic, though. You know, religion might not be the problem. The problem is within us. It's not what we believe, it's how we relay. You wouldn't like it if someone punched you in the face with information that you didn't have interest in. So why do you think it's any different with religion? It's not. And the Lord tells us in Corinthians 15:9. Let me see if I can find it. He says, Japan celebrates Christmas every year, just as many Westerners do. However, Christmas in Japan isn't the same as in the West. In Japan, it's a custom to eat Christmas cake. And we can't find fault with that. Christmas cake is delicious. Also, many Japanese people eat chicken for their Christmas meal. Well, that is blasphemy. Turkey. Or no Christmas for you. Like it was meant to be. But again, I go back to my main point. Religion might not be the problem. It's the narcissism of people to think that they can keep pushing and pushing and pushing, as if it would mean anything. You have never in your life convinced anyone to change their belief. I dare you to show me one proof. You might have planted a seed in the person's head, but it wasn't until that person realized by themselves, and maybe coincidentally it lined up with what you told them. But if you told them it was because of you, they would deny it. Because it couldn't be. It can only come from within. Whether that seed came from you or not is irrelevant. Religion is not the problem. I probably really have enjoyed being a preacher. I probably really would have enjoyed it. I missed what Moad said before, but I just see this one. Or go to the mosque. Glaceon says, Brother George, hear me out. You need to go down to the church and confess your sins. TB says, there is a shepherd, a lost sheep, and a prodigal son, which is reference to
犬と猫と魚がいる. There is a dog, a cat, and a fish.
We have inside jokes officially. Alastar says, praise him. And Moad then says, or go to the mosque. It'd be awkward if I went to the mosque since I literally know nothing. The only thing I know about the Islam religion, Islam, is that there's the 3 branches of the Abrahamic religions, and it's one of them. You got your Christianity, you got your Muslims, and you got your Jews. It's those 3 branching off the same religion, which weirdly has a lot of paganistic religion things in there mixed in somehow. Christmas trees being the prime example. Starlight RW says, I just wanted to thank you. I love how like my streams are like stupidly about religion, but then we always come back to earth when talking about Japanese Sub-Zero. I finally got my hands on Japanese Sub-Zero books, and I'm so happy that I started my Japanese learning journey with your books and videos. Glaceon, don't do that. It's funny, but don't do that. Come on. Come on. Don't call other people's religions lame. And the Mormons. Yes. Oh man, this topic, it's a record for me. I think a lot of people are coming in. Who's here that's never seen me before? Just tell me. There's a lot of people talking now that I've never talked to. So I think this religion, maybe I should just become a channel that talks about religion. What do you think about that? I think I finally found my niche, guys. In a world filled with mystery, do we really know anything? That's an outsider perspective about Islam. Was that what I said just now? Yeah, definitely an outsider perspective. Every one of my opinions about religion is an outsider perspective. Anyway, if you're here for the first time, let me know. And if you are, I apologize. This isn't my normal content. Normally, it's much more stupid. Normally, much more stupid. Normally, it's a lot of this. That was what I wanted to hit.
犬と猫と魚がいる. There is a dog, a cat, and a fish.
Alistair says, I was finally lucky enough to catch you live today for the first time. Okay. So you were trying to find me live. I mean, I do it every morning. Mostly every morning. I've been recently shifting because, guys, I'm into the 5th chapter of my rewrite of my book. And that's why I stopped doing live streams every day, because I was just focusing on that. Oh, I'm having so much fun. And there's this character that I forgot her name. I just wrote protagonist girlfriend. I couldn't remember her name. Not protagonist, antagonist. I finally remembered it yesterday because it was written in the chapter. I'm so bad that I forgot my own characters' names. There's still one guy, I cannot remember this guy's name. And it doesn't help that the voices for each of the characters has another separate name, because I'm using AI voices. They're like Clyde. George is Clyde. And Square is like Nathan or something like that. They're completely different names, and it blows my brain is like trying to keep track of it all. Moad says, I'm not here for the first time. Well, I appreciate you coming back, you know. I realize that I realize that a lot of the things I say are very offensive to some people. I'm not trying to be that. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just trying to spout some information from my brain. That's it. It's really just like, what is George thinking? Not that I know. I don't even know my own life. You realize I don't even know my own stuff. When I go back in my history and talk to other people that were there, my memory is so different from their memory that I begin to really doubt my existence. My first American girlfriend was a girl named Brandy. We dated for a week, okay? And I had maybe, I don't know, 2 memories with Brandy. And then I started talking to Brandy over Facebook. And she's like, do you remember the time that we this? Do you remember the time that? And like, you were such my good friend. We were BFF. And I'm like, were we? I don't have those memories. Like, I don't think it was one-sided. But you remember the time that so-and-so run away and then they came back to your house and then I came and like, what? No, what? That happened? I don't remember any of that. And then remember the last time that we saw each other? Like, you said you liked my hat and I was in the hat and you hugged me and I was like, no. What a jerk I am to not remember any of that. And I really liked Brandy. You know what I mean? We were supposed to meet up in LA for this concert that my high school friend Steve had paid for her ticket and everything. And she every month or so kept saying, "You're going to make it there, right? You're going to be there, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be there." Because I know that you've said you're going to do things before. Steve has said this, and I said I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And then I wouldn't do it. And Steve had told her that a couple times. So she was worried that I wasn't going to go. And she didn't come, Brandy. And then she got married to some guy like a week later. I don't know what the hell happened. Brandy. Brandy. Brandy lives in Georgia. I'm going to be in Georgia. I should see if I could hang out with Brandy for a bit. That would be awesome. Even though I'm disappointed she didn't visit us in California. We need more people who are not afraid to be offensive. Yeah. I think that's why I like Joe Rogan. I don't agree with everything he says, but I like him. I used to really listen to what's his name? He died already. Rush Limbaugh. Didn't agree with him either, but man, did I love hearing him talk. He's just fun to talk to. Moad says, if I keep coming to the stream, you'll go to the mosque soon, LOL. No, I won't. You really misunderstand me if you think I'm not gonna go to I am gonna probably go to a church in January with my mother. But don't tell her. I really was thinking to go on the weekend, and then I thought, do I really want to go to church? I thought I wanted to initially, and then I was like, nah, probably just not. It was just cheaper to book that weekend. It would have cost like $20-30 extra to go on the weekend, and then I'd have to go to church. A whole day would be lost in church, and there'd be expectations from my mother that I would, fall back into the Lord, because I got baptized with my mother. My mother was the one that brought me to the Lord for real that first time, when I stayed with her when I was 8 or 9 before Japan. She's the start of my religious journey. Although my dad said, no, I was baptized earlier, but I don't remember that. Church has free donuts, huh? I don't eat donuts. How about that? Yesterday, Krispy Kreme had a deal where if you bought 1 dozen, you could get the second dozen for $1. And I didn't do it. Although Krispy Kreme donuts are so good. They're so good. Glacy and I, no, even for the free food. When I've been to church, and I don't know if this is, and like I said, I've only been to basically American religious institutions. The fakeness of the people in those churches. We just love having you here. It's just been oh my God, you don't. It's not, it can't be. Like, I get the niceties, but it's too much. I don't know if I buy into it, to be fair. Well, guys, I think the main bulk of what I wanted to say has been said. I tell you, I really struggled this morning in the shower. I was thinking, do I really want to do religion again? Since I literally made it private my last discussion. I did not want to do it. But I was still riled up from my father, My father had riled me up with his very smart statement saying I'm not smart enough to know that God doesn't exist. But he fails to see the logic that he's not smart enough to know that he exists as well. Glacial says, I'm just messing with you. I don't know. I know you don't want to go to church, and I don't like going to church myself. Church isn't even it, You know where I want to go? I want to go to those black churches where they have these amazing jazz jam sessions at the end where they're and they're doing these religious gospels. Dude, that seems amazing. I would eat that up. That sounds awesome. I mean, that seems so fun. Black gospel, I'm talking and this is very, maybe a racist thing for me to say, but I like the all black churches where they're like, hallelujah. Oh my God. The white ones, no. The black ones seem amazingly fun. I'm gonna just say that. I would never want to go to a Korean church. Those seem way crazy. Every Korean person that's religious that I've met is like way more crazy than even the normal. Like, I'm very biased. I've only met, a much more limited crowd of Koreans. So I guess I might judge the religious ones even more harsher. But they're way more aggressive with their religion so far that I've met. I'm talking like mega bullhorns on the street telling you that Jesus is the savior. They got like the whole gear. They've got gear that has Jesus is Lord on the back, just sitting right there in the main street. And they have pamphlets that they're handing out. Yes, Christ, 믿습니까? Like, oh my God, it is really religious in Korea. 33% of them are Christian. Night Owl says, those churches are nice, but Baptists are cuckoo. They're all cuckoo to me. I mean, to me, it's just like, you might as well have a Harry Potter church. And I say that. I hate that. I hate that I also fall into the memes. You know what I mean? I fall into the memes. Like literally, I say the things that I have heard and I parrot them back, and that's one of them. I'd rather believe in Harry Potter. I don't think that's an original thought for me. I wonder what thoughts I have that are original. You know? I know one thought I have that's original. It's when I teach Japanese, I say what you can say, not what you want to say. That's me. 100% made that one up. The one I wish I had made up that I always say that I think some people might attribute to me is language is a tool to communicate, not an art to master. But that I got off of a TED talk from some lady like TEDx in Malaysia. And it was amazing. It was an amazing talk. And for the first multiple times that I brought it up, I kept saying where I got it from. But then eventually I was just like, it's too much to keep saying that every time. I'm just going to say it because I believe it. That is exactly how I believe, right? So I say it. And I think that's what it is. Like, I think the first few times you credit the person that said it, and then eventually it's like it just becomes a part of you, and that's what you believe, right? But we are an amalgamation of all the things we've heard. Why is Korean so Christian when it didn't take in China or Japan? I read a whole book on it. There's a book called The Impossible Country, and Korea. You would think that Japan, Korea, and China are all similar, but Korea is very Confucius, right? They're still very hierarchical. Their hierarchy is very strong, more than Japan, more than China, from my understanding. Okay, and back in the day, it was even worse, right? And if you were born in a certain class, you were like Japan had it too. Brakmin and whatnot. They had people that were of a certain social class and they could never get out of it, like the caste system in India. But Christianity wasn't brought to Korea by what are those guys? Missionaries. I the word Mormon was only in my head. Missionaries didn't bring Christianity to Korea. Koreans brought Christianity to Korea. Like, it was a way to be in a society where you could never break out of your stratosphere, like out of your strata, I would say, not stratosphere. You could be equal amongst the eyes of the Lord. And it was very appealing. So it spread in Korea rapid fire, my understanding is. And this book called The Impossible Country which I didn't finish, but got through maybe half a really good book. I don't do digital books so well. If it was an audiobook, I probably would have finished it. But if you want to hear a lot about Korea, they talk about the whole journey, about how really rare it is, how Christianity took off in Korea, and that's probably why it did so well. Japan is missionaries. Less than 1%, my understanding, less than 1% of Japan is Christian, but 33% around there is Christian in Korea. Nope, not the Korean War. Wasn't the Korean War. Okay, hang on. Moad says, if you disagree, refute the reasoning of the belief, but the agnostic position of we all don't know is very ignorant, in my opinion. What? Oh, the agnostic position that we all don't know is very ignorant. Oh, really? Right. Now, Moad, I did ask a challenge to you to say, can you say that it might be possible that your religion's wrong? And you could not. You said uncertainty on your part doesn't make others uncertain too. True. I'm not telling you to deny your religion. I'm not saying tell me that your God isn't real. I'm saying, can you fathom the possibility that you grew up into your religion? You cannot. And that to me is ignorant. Who is the open mind here? Me or you? Me who says, you might be right and I might be wrong. Again, I'm on a high horse here. You are so steadfast in your belief that nothing could prove you wrong. But I've already stated, if God came down, I would be like, oh shit, I messed up. But I don't know. If the devil came down, like, here's the thing about religious people. It doesn't matter what you throw their way, right? It doesn't matter what you throw their way. It's the devil. It's the devil making it, trying to take me away from my faith. I'm just saying anything is possible. You know, it's very possible that God is real and he's just not a good God. It's very possible. I've thought about this more than I probably should, just because of what's in the Bible. It's like, it's possible that God is the creator of the universe and a piece of shit. It's very possible that he is just mean. What do I know? I actually don't know. And I hope, oh my God, I honestly, Moad, I'm not going to remember that I said this, but hopefully when I die, it'll come back to me. I want to see you in the afterlife. I hope there's an afterlife. And I want to sit next to you on the curb, you, me, and Glaceon, and Melanie, and my really religious friend Sarah, my father. And I want us to all know, and I don't think any one of us in that group will go, I told you I was right, because none of us would have been right. That's how I feel. Not knowing is not ignorance, by the way, but the willfulness of some of people's beliefs, I think, how they willingly refuse to even accept any other possibility, that is ignorant, in my opinion. Offense intended, a little bit. Because I cannot believe that you, Moad, who seems intelligent, can't say, maybe. No, you're like, definitely. It's definitely true. There's no doubt. It is absolutely true. Everyone else is wrong. All the millions of Christians, the millions of Buddhists, the millions of Mormons, of Jehovah's Witnesses, of Pentecostals, of spaghetti monster believers, of all the other religions, of the people like me that don't believe, of the agnostics, of the atheists, we're all wrong. I alone have figured this out. I believe in this religion, in this book. I didn't figure it out, I read it, okay? And it's the only possibility. Do you know how stupid it sounds that I don't believe in Muslim and I didn't even read their book? It does sound stupid, right? I freely admit to that. How can I not believe in Muslim or Allah? I didn't even read the book. I really have only read parts of the Bible, not even the full Bible, if I remember correctly. How can I deny that? Did I even finish The Secret? I don't remember, but I believed that. I'm ignorant too. But at least I think it's possible. I've told you, in these live streams I've talked about it, that even with my extremely anti-religious thinking, and even though I can't wrap my head around yet, how does the universe start with nothing? I can't, and that's like, oh, maybe there's got to be something, right? And I just don't know what that is. But then again, like I said, if you start with something building something, yeah, but what's built that? I mean, the same logic just keeps going back and back and back until there's no beginning. Where does it begin, right? But there was, even with that in my head, within the last 5 years, I thought, maybe evolution isn't true. That seems, maybe it could be bullshit. I'm very very much believe in, you got billions of years, you've got natural selection. The thing that survives is the thing that produces. Therefore, over time, things evolve into what we have now. Okay? I thought that. I still do, by the way. But there was a brief moment where I was like, wait a minute. And it was, you ever seen that video? It's a salamander, and it starts with one cell, and then it splits. And I don't know if they've done CG, but it looks like it's very real. It looks like this is what's really happening. They somehow they've got it in this clear, transparent sack, and you can watch these cells, which have no life, over time, high speed, time lapse. And at one point, the cells bulge out, okay? They go like this, they go, and then they like, it's like scaffolding. It goes, and then it goes, and all of a sudden there's a heart, the shape of a heart. And then it goes, and you start seeing blood just all of a sudden go through all of these veins that were made, these capillaries and whatnot that are coming out of the heart. And I was like, oh, okay. That doesn't seem like evolution. That seems too fantastic for me to comprehend, that even if you have billions of years, how does that happen? That looks like it was designed. It looks like it was created. It still trips me up that, I thought maybe there is a creator. And by the way, that's proof that I'm open to that, even though I don't believe it. I don't believe there was a creator. I don't know where it came from. Maybe we've always been here, just like God's always been here. But I just think shit happened over time, right? But there was a brief moment, and it still trips me up today, like I said, where I saw that and I was like, okay, wow, that doesn't seem like, is that possible? Or the eye, the complexity of the eye, or the exact ratios of the strong and weak forces and gravity and the position of the earth and all that stuff that we say is kind of coincidentally impossible. Of course, we have survivorship bias. We couldn't make those observations if we didn't exist, right? And then the other thing that really shook me, and I thought, that seems too amazing. It seems like, as a programmer, I would have put that into the code. I, as a programmer, would be like, yeah, no, this needs to be there for humans to survive. And it was this article I saw in a newspaper, but it was one of those like tabloids. So I thought it was like a bullshit article, but it was interesting to me, so I picked it up. And it showed a bottle of milk, and there was maybe this much milk in there, and it was like white, this whitish milk. And it says, before the vaccine, and then this other bottle, which was double or triple the amount of milk, and the milk's color was this bluish tint. And I said, after the vaccine. And I'm like, oh shit. This wasn't during Corona either. This is before Corona. And there's always been anti-vaxxers, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, another anti-vaxxer thing. But I read it. I was curious as to what they were saying was happening in the milk. And it had nothing to do with anti-vaxxers. It was when a baby gets the vaccine, not the mother. It's not the mother that got the vaccine. The baby got like polio vaccine or something with like, maybe it had a weakened virus or a dead virus. I don't know exactly what it was, but they got the vaccine, okay? And when the baby breastfed, the saliva from the baby got detected by the mother's body that that virus was in there, and it reacted by shooting all these antibodies to the breast, and that's why it overproduced milk with an abundance of these antibodies to protect the baby. And I was like, okay, that seems amazing. That must be a god. That's pretty strong proof to me, that I could buy that proof, visible proof that something is there that is amazing, And when you look at when a virus enters the body and the white blood cells attack it, it blows my mind how that happens. And that goes back to why I'm not George Trombley. I'm this I am this island of matter of all of these things independently living out their entire lives, generation after generation of white blood cells being created. I think your skin cells refresh every 7 days or something like that. I am this like rolling, melting blob of organic matter that has a consciousness that has named itself George Trombley. And the George Trombley that I am now isn't the same guy from 5 years ago. I'm not even the same guy I was yesterday. I'm constantly changing my views. I'm Republican 1 month, I'm Democrat the other. I believe in God one part of my life. I don't believe God in the other part of my life. I can't be trusted to have an opinion that will stay with me my entire life. I don't think there's one opinion that I've kept my entire life, including teaching Japanese, which when I was younger, I said I would never, ever do because no one would love Japan like I did. And I will never stoop down to teach Japanese, and that's how I've made all my money now. And it's not because of the money, it's because I ended up getting a passion for it. The money came after I got the passion. I don't know shit. I don't know what I am. We might find out in a year that I'm doing a live stream saying how I found God. I'm open to that. Are you, Moyad? Can you recognize where your belief comes from? When I became Republican one year and voted straight Republican, I was watching a lot of Republican videos, a lot of red-leaning videos on YouTube. And the entity that I am, enough of the polls shifted that way that I voted that way, and then I flipped back again. I've done Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. I don't see myself doing Republican again, but again, I didn't see myself doing Democrat again when I voted Republican that one time. I got influenced. Do you not see the influence of where you are, Moyad? That everyone around you believes? Your parents believe? Do you know how much destruction? You know how much destruction would happen in my life if I started believing? If I actually decided to believe, I got the relationship with my wife would shift. My daughters who don't believe, they're as strong as I am in their disbelief because they grew up in my household. They don't believe because I didn't believe. I never gave them the opportunity to believe. And I don't regret that. But if I ended up believing, I might. Moyad says, if you disagree, refute the reasoning of their belief. But the agnostic position of we all don't know is very ignorant. Oh, that's the same thing you said earlier. Yeah. I don't think it's I think it's as ignorant as your position. See, the thing about Alexa, define agnostic. Is that the belief that there's no God?
Agnostic is usually defined as a person who holds that the existence of the ultimate cause is God, and the essential nature of things are unknown and unknowable, or that human knowledge is limited to experience. As an adjective, agnostic is usually defined as of or relating to agnostics or their doctrines, attitudes, or beliefs. For more, ask me to give you more definitions.
Alexa, define atheist.
Atheist is usually defined as a person who denies or disbelieves the existence of a supreme being or beings.
I guess I fall more on the agnostic side, but I'm definitely an atheist as well. I think I hit both of those. I think I teeter-totter in between those. I don't know. That makes me agnostic, but I also think the phrase I like to say is, I don't think we figured it out. I don't think, I'm just a broken record at this point. I'm gonna say the same thing I said 1,000 times on these streams when I talk about religion, but there's that graphic. I don't know if you've seen it. There's like the Earth, okay? It shows the Earth. And then it shows the Earth in relation to like Saturn or something like that. And it's like, oh wow, the Earth is so tiny, It's like all of a sudden it's like tiny. And then it shows the sun in relation to Saturn, and then it just keeps doing that where it's like you're like, wow, that's so big. And then the next thing comes and it's like, oh, it's so tiny. And eventually the sun is not even a pixel on the screen. And even the thing that made the sun look like a pixel eventually becomes a pixel on the screen. We are so tiny. We are the tiniest of the tiny in the scope of the universe. And we're in one of billions of Milky Way looking universes that we can see from this planet. We can see them, right? With the telescopes that we put in space. We see them. They exist, right? Apparently. Unless it's all a projection. I don't know. But let's just say that's real. But we are on this outer spiral of one of a trillion Milky Ways. We're one of a trillion probably planets, around a trillion stars. We're just this little piece of dust, this little flitter of dust, as this little flitter of dust attracts us as we rotate around and around this Milky Way. We figured it out. God created us. He's got other flock as well, but we figured it out. We are so smart. Is that star not alive? If the star is alive, does he think there's a God that created him? I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't think we figured it out. I don't think we know. I don't think we can know. I guess that is agnostic, really, in a sense. I don't think we can know. You know? And it's very possible that it just literally is. We're just here. You know? We're not perfect. There's a lot of problems with our design, right? We don't live forever. Well, it's because we ate the apple. Okay, whatever. How about why, you know, when Noah's Ark came, why didn't he reset then everything then? Why didn't we reset? Noah, why do we still have original sin? I don't know. The one thing I don't like to do, I think it's the dumbest thing. I hate to debate religion using a religious document. I don't like to debate the Bible with the Bible. You know what I mean? Or relate. I don't know enough about Islam. I don't literally know one thing about Islam. All I know is you can't draw the prophet Muhammad. I think that's like a rule, right? You're not allowed to represent him. You know, that's all I know. I don't know anything else about it. And I only know that because people got murdered over that. They got killed. Charlie Hebdo or something like that. What was that? I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. There's a newspaper and they put a picture of Muhammad in the newspaper, and then some gunman went in and shot them all up. That's the only reason I know about that. Looks like I got stuck on a older version of this. Of the chat, I mean. You just think it's your best bet? Okay. I like it. I like Moad that you said that. It's your best bet. That means you chose. Yeah, it's your best bet. Okay. Same thing my dad said. He said, it doesn't cost anything to believe in God. Except for my sanity, honestly. I have to give up a lot of original thought to believe in God. Because a lot of questions that I have get answered if I believe in God. I don't necessarily agree with the answer, but if I believed in God, I wouldn't really be able to question that answer because it's God. Agnostic means I don't know, and atheist means I know there's no God. Yeah, I definitely follow on the agnostic side more. I know, I definitely have a strong opinion that it's probably not the Christian God or the Muslim God or whatever. I know. You know, the funny thing is, I know there's like 300 or there's like 3,000 other gods. I just don't know who they are. Zeus or whatever. I don't know who they are, so I can't name them. So I keep naming those. I don't mean to pick on those ones. I know those aren't the ones. That's how I feel. But also, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what is the real God, if there is a God, and I certainly don't know how the universe got started. Even the Big Bang kind of got disproved, right? Science was like, wait a minute. They put that new telescope up and they're like, wait a minute. There's some galaxies here that are way too formed to be this close to the Big Bang. Maybe it's older than we thought. Maybe this wasn't how it all started. It seems like there was a Big Bang. There was something that happened there, but there's something else that happened because these can't exist, according to what we know. Night Owl says there's 3 different branches of philosophies of agnosticism. That's the problem too with religion. Even Christianity has all of these sects. Muslims have the Sunni and I don't remember the other one. The Sunni, what was it? The Sunni, I learned this during the Iraq War, but there's the Sunni and I can't remember the other one. But certainly there's not only 2, right? It's like, here's our belief. I don't believe this part of it. Okay, then we're this now. I don't believe that part of it. No, we're this now. And they just split off because people don't know. Because for some reason, God couldn't make a book that was understandable by everybody. He couldn't do it. Okay, light will never go faster than this. Energy will be conserved. When you melt something, it turns into different energy. When you heat it up, this is the law. These are the physics. This is what gravity is. This is the light force and the weak force and the strong force. This is how helium reacts. This is how I'm going to set all these rules. Here's my word. Here's my word right here. Oh, up. What do you mean it broke? What do you... Now, if my phone had broke right now, that'd be a sign of God for sure. But what do you mean? My word. Everything else I made is completely solid. You can't break anything else that I broke. The only thing you can break is the word that I sent to you to explain who I am and to give you guidance in life. That's the one thing I'm going to allow to be messed with by people. That's where I find the disbelief. Like, if I'm God, my book would be indestructible. That's all I'm saying. That's certainly not an original thought, but I believe that. I certainly must have heard that somewhere else. I don't think I'm smart enough to have come up with that thought. Someone else who thinks way more about religion than I probably came up with that. Some YouTuber or somebody. But it's great. It's a great concept. How come the word of God can be so manipulated? Is the devil stronger than God? By the way, honest question, Moad, because I don't know. In Muslim religion, in Islam, I don't even know what to call it, to be fair. I don't even know if it's called Islam or Muslim. Is it the people that believe in Islam religion Muslim? Or are they Islamists? I don't know how to even refer. But in that religion, is there a devil in the Quran? I honestly don't know. Maybe there's no devil. Is there hell in the Quran? I know there's like the 40 versions and whatnot. 40 versions, virgins, not versions. But at least that's the stuff I've heard. Excuse me. TV says, are you sure you're not, George, are you sure you're agnostic and not antagonistic? I'm definitely antagonistic. I'm an asshole. I already said that, right? The way that I talk about religion, I'll talk about how someone thinks about anything. It's a problem. Trust me. I can't shut my mouth. I really can't shut my mouth. Night Owl says, there's different branches and philosophies of agnosticism. Okay. I read that already. I apologize. I feel like George might be Ted from Bill and Ted, reanimated 30 years later. That was a good movie. Feels like stuff a Ted would say. Well, I think that's because Seth, the creator, I think his name is Seth, right? Seth Green? I think that's his name. He's a pretty smart guy. I think he probably looks at religion the way I look at religion. I don't believe in the original sin, Moad says. You don't believe in the original sin. But is it in the Quran? Alexa, is original sin in the Quran?
Wikipedia.org. There is no original sin in the Quran.
Ah.
It specifically and repeatedly denies the Christian trinity of three persons in one God, and denies that Jesus is the Son of God. 930 was crucified, 4 to 157, and died or rose from the dead.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to read the Quran right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I know this is making Moad excited. I'm gonna look to see if I can't. I'm curious now. I'm very curious how different that is. I think I would like to have a little bit more education. So I'm gonna go to Audible. I'm just gonna see if I can find, how do you spell it? Quran? Curious. The Bible's boring. I already read that one. A lot of passages at least. Quran in English. 52 positive ratings, guys. Wait, how come oh, is it just free? Hang on. I'm curious. Let's see here. See if this connects properly. Okay, hang on. It might not have connected. Let's just see.
Introduction. The Quran is the book of God. It has been preserved in its entirety for all time to come. Although written originally in Arabic,
By the way, I realize I have a very punchable face. When I'm listening to that, I don't know, this is all bullshit. Sorry, you punch me in the face. I get. Please don't punch me if you meet me, because I'm a very peaceful human being, much like the Lord Jesus Christ. But please, I know I have a punchable face, and I apologize. I can't change it.
It has been made accessible, thanks to translations, to those who have no knowledge of Arabic. While no substitute for the original, translations serve the signal purpose of spreading the word of God far beyond the Arabic-speaking peoples to a far broader spectrum of humanity. The Quran is apparently in the Arabic language, but in reality, it is the language of nature, that is, the language in which God directly addressed all human beings at the time of creation. This divine invocation of humanity is ever present in the...
This sounds great, by the way. This is some sort of introduction to the Quran, but it's well written. I appreciate that.
consciousness of all human beings. That is why the Quran is universally understandable to some on a conscious plane.
That's what I said the book should be, universally understandable. What if I end up believing the Quran because it kind of follows my belief system? Let's find out. I don't know anything about Muslims. Let's see. Certainly I won't know after this. It's too much. Wait, where's it playing now? Did it stop playing on my thing?
And to others at the subconscious level. This reality has been described in the Quran as clear revelations in the hearts of those who have been given knowledge. This verse goes on to say that none deny our revelations save the wrongdoers. Chapter 29, verse 49. This means that the divine reality explained by the Quran on a conscious plane pre-exists in man at the level of the subconscious. The message of the Quran is not, therefore, something which is alien to man. It is, in fact, a verbal expression of that same divine reality which is in consonance with man's own nature and with which he is already familiar. The Quran explains this by saying that those born in later times were all initially born at the time of the creation of Adam, and, at that time, God had directly addressed all these human souls.
So there is an Adam.
This event is thus alluded to in the Quran. Prophet, when your Lord brought forth the offspring from the loins of the children of Adam, and made them bear witness about themselves, he said, Am I not your Lord? And they replied, Yes, we bear witness that you are. So you cannot say on the day of resurrection, We were not aware of this. Chapter 7, verse 172.
So there's
In the following verse, the
resurrection.
Quran makes further mention of the dialogue between God and man. Surely we offered our trust to the heavens and the earth and the hills, but they shrank from bearing it and were afraid of it. And man undertook it, but he has proved a tyrant and a fool. Chapter 33, verse 72. The Quran, for man, is in essence already known to him, rather than an entirely unknown entity. In reality, the Quran is the unfolding of the human mind. When one whose nature is alive, having saved himself from later conditioning, reads the Quran, those brain cells will be activated wherein God's first address lies preserved. If we keep this in mind, it will not be difficult to appreciate that the translation of the Quran is a valid means of understanding it. If God's address was the first covenant, the Quran is the second covenant. Each testifies to the veracity of the other. If one has little or even no grasp of the Arabic language and can read the scriptures only in translation, he should not anticipate that he will be frustrated in his understanding of the Quran, for the Quranic concept of man as the natural recipient of God's word has become a reality in modern times. The science of the genetic code and the findings of anthropology both fully support this viewpoint.
That's great science fiction. Like, if that was science fiction, first of all, that's the first I've ever heard of that. I'm probably going to listen to this whole thing. It sounds fascinating. And I realize, unfortunately, that my eternal book that I wrote is so Christian-centric that it probably sounds like complete nonsense, because I'm not refuting anything from the Quran, right? I love it. I love the concept that we're all born at the time of creation, and the message of God is built within inside of us. That's kind of a cool concept to believe. That's wow. I don't know how you get past that. It's part of you. It just goes to the soul of the matter, doesn't it?
The creation plan of God. Every book has its objective, and the objective of the Quran is to make man aware of the creation plan of God. That is, to tell man why God created this world, what the purpose is of settling man on earth, what is required from man in his pre-death lifespan, and what he is going to confront after death. Man is born as an eternal creature. When God created man as such, he divided his lifespan into two periods, the pre-
Hang on. CH fan, that's what I said. If it's universally understandable, why would you need a translation? Go watch my Eternal Book video. Okay? I said there is no English edition, there is no Chinese edition. Everyone who reads this understands it, regardless of your language and regardless of if you could read. That would be, but that's funny. That's what they're saying the Quran is. That's what they're saying the original, not the Quran, pre the Quran, they're saying that it's within us all to begin with. Moad says, that's why you have an innate desire to believe in a higher power. Do I? I think I fall to it in times of despair. You know, even in my moments of disbelief, I'll pray to a God and say, please, God, let this not happen. But I don't know how much of that is. どうした? No, なんかあった? Melody? あ、今12時? Guys, I'll be right back. While I'm away, I'm going to play. I have to attend to a family issue. I'm going to play my Eternal Book, the original version, okay? Since we're talking about religion. It's on Tissue Box channel. I think I can play them all back to back. Now, you'll have to get past the I go a little bit too long about the book itself. Give me a second. I gotta handle my cat issue here. Here, I'm gonna play this on auto, and hopefully it'll just play through my own stuff. Actually, it's 9 minutes. I should be back before then. Here we go.
Praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he hath done. And give him the glory, great things he hath done.
My Eternal Book, Chapter 1. You have heard my story, but only in third-person narrative. I'm sending you this third book explaining some things that have created confusion and even war on Earth due to misinterpretations of how I created the Earth and how I ruled it. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. Hello, welcome to my audiobook. This is the audio version of my Eternal Book. I am, you all know who I am. Anyway, back to where I was. I created the Earth and how I created the Earth and how I ruled it from the beginning of time as you know it. I will skip the parts that don't require explaining or that even if explained wouldn't make things better. Any other book you read about me was not written by me. But I will not condemn any such countless other books and other forms of writing, because there were scrolls, for example. I want you to understand who I am and why I did what I did in creating all the things that you know. Also, in this book, I've made a few changes based on direct feedback and from pure observation of everything up until now. First thing about this book is that it is 100% written by me, so there are no need to guess or interpret or analyze what I mean in this book. There will not be any parables or metaphors to explain natural rules and laws of the universe. This time, I will tell you things 100% with direct wording that can't be misunderstood. Unlike prior books, this book is unchangeable. This book will remain unchanged and completely relevant to all that read it. From time to time, I will add new information about the universe or add new details, but I will do it by rewriting an existing section to this book. The changes will be done before I have sent you this book, so for you, it will appear as if the book has never changed. In fact, I added this next few lines 3,500 years after I first created this book. This book is the only never-changing eternal book I will ever write. I know some of you will think there could be another book about me or by me, and yes, people will write books claiming to interpret my words. But my words in this book will never require interpreting, and I will never add to this book. As far as you are concerned, this book is the same as it was today as it was when I first created. And even this part that I added 9,000 years after the first creation appeared in this book in all the minds that read it instantaneously. You are probably wondering if there is a difference between the Chinese translation of my word and the now very popular English edition. Well, there aren't different versions, translations, or editions of this book. Any reader of this book will understand it no matter the language they are initially programmed with. Even people who don't know how to read, those who have no sight, and even those who don't believe in my very existence can read and understand my book unambiguously. Do not doubt this. There is no way possible for someone to not understand this book. I am the creator of everything, so of course I have the power to make such a book. Anyone claiming they don't understand the words in this book, or claiming that they know of a different meaning in any of the passages of this book, are lying and should be avoided. Let me set this first and most important thing straight. You all have free will. There are no restrictions on free will. This means that some people will choose to deceive, hurt, and even kill other people. Unfortunately, even one rule preventing free will would mean that there is zero free will. This means you are free to do anything at all. Of course, other people might prevent your free will, while others may help your free will. And even if that free will is considered evil by your logic, it is still allowed. I can't change the actions of any person, no matter how many prayers you send, because any change I make nullifies free will. So that leads to the next thing. I do not work in mysterious ways. Those words are often said to explain unfortunate circumstances that cause death or disfigurement or other undesirable outcomes. In the same way, the law of free will means people can do anything without restriction. The law of chance means anything can happen without restriction. It is not I, as God, that make or allow things to happen. It is the true free will of all and the law of chance that forms the entire existence of the universe. The law of chance leads to what is often referred to as luck, for good things, or luck. Let me read that. I really should have read ahead. I apologize. The law of chance leads to what is often referred to as luck for good things, or luck of the draw for those things considered bad. This is why there are tall people, short people, and people who can walk and those who cannot, among other differences. The law of chance does not provide for any guarantee of equal opportunity for a long life or even a happy one. That type of a universe is not possible. A universe without free will and consequently without chance is not possible and never has been. Any other interpretation of these truths are untrue.
All right. My cat, who's definitely near the end of her life cycle, they brought her outside for the first time in a long time, and she was really kind of energized by being outside, and they wanted me to see that. So, it's probably good that I saw that. Sorry to bore you with my my blasphemous eternal book. I don't know where I was in my discussion, but oh yeah, we were listening to the Quran, which seems interesting. I will listen to it more, just to get a vibe for it, and I hope to not get sucked into another religion. Cause oh my God, could you imagine how I'm already horrible enough when I was vegan, you know? When I'm vegan, or when I start a new diet, or when I learn a new way to be productive or something like that, I'm already like horrible. Like, going back to what I said, religion is not the problem. It's people constantly forcing their beliefs on you. And that's exactly what would happen if I became Muslim. You wouldn't want to watch me do that. Yeah, she's a good kitty. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It seems about the right time to end the stream. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I'll do a quick mix, I guess. It's tradition here, isn't it? We'll get a mix going. I'll ask my god, Geminwill. Is that what her name was? And we'll do a mix.
Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39.
Doing damn particle in the first usage is a marked location where the action takes place.
I feel you, Bo. I feel you, Bo. Yo, it's okay. How do I say this? I feel you, Bo. But you know what? Take the time to get to know yourself. Like, understand the things you like and don't like. Because once you understand yourself, you know how to take care of yourself when you find the person for you. I'm not gonna lie.
那我考19，那我考19，那我考19。I'm staying in Bangkok. I'm staying in Bangkok.
Just don't give yourself away too fast.
Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39.
Doing damn particle in the first usage is a marked location where the action takes place.
Exactly. Dear Lord, I just pray over everyone who came on this live today who's anointed and divinely appointed to be here. And I pray blessings over their day and just a feeling of peace.
Learning a language is dirty. It'll never be clean. You'll always feel like you didn't do enough or you made too many mistakes. But in the end, you have to remember, language is a tool to communicate and not an art to master.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
I already made this video once when I was crying too much and I felt like it was reductive, so I'm doing it again. I am so disgusted and ashamed. Let me make this clear. I would never betray you guys like that. I would rather go broke than suck corporate dick.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
shit. We are all suffering under this capitalistic hellscape.
Buckle up, 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 buckle up. Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39.
We're doing toe particle in the most simple uses using like and but nothing now.
You are so stupid and boring. You have to go stuck at your home and don't turn on the phone.
Buckle up.
You can stay behind
Buckle
the
up.
phone and typing something like this thing. I don't like it. Get out. Get out. Just get out from this life. Bye. What's up, girl? What's up, girl? I don't like it. I don't like it. What's up, girl?
They definitely flirting. Straight up, if I know I like you, I'm gonna text you right at the moment when I decided I like you. I'm gonna be like, I like you. But if you don't like me, it's okay. Trying again won't hurt. Just don't give yourself away.
Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39.
We're doing toe particle in the most simple uses using like and but nothing now.
Buckle up.
When I say Kanojo to Yorida because it shows companionship, that means I'm dating her.
犬と猫と魚がいる. There is a dog, a cat, and a
Fuck
fish.
that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Let me make this clear. I would never betray you guys like that. I would rather go broke than suck corporate dick. I am so disgusted and ashamed. Fuck that shit. We are all suffering under this capitalistic hellscape.
Go follow me on Instagram and get my book if you're a girl. You'll love it. Exactly.
No. Let me set the record straight. Japanese is not easy. It is a lot of work. But if you learn some patterns and you learn some tricks, it can be easier.
Dear Lord, I just pray over everyone who came on this live today who was anointed and divinely appointed to be here. And I pray blessings over their day and just a feeling of peace.
You feel me?
Buckle up. Buckle up. Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39. Japanese Easy 39.
Today was about the closest I've got to a perfect mix, I feel. That was a lot of fun. Like, it's definitely poisoning my lungs when I do this. Woo! So this was a great purchase, honestly. I don't regret buying this fourth fog machine that I've ever bought because I have a button right here on my desk. It's impressive. It goes hard, right? It's fun, right? I gotta find another like mix to go from. Like, I've got those two, but I need a third. I feel like I want a third song. Let's see if we can't find. What do you think about us trying to find a third song that I can riff to? Epidemic Sound. Let's see if we can't find one. So I'm definitely not good enough to like make my own song, right? So let's see. DJ. Let's just type DJ. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Don't try this at home because I actually have licenses for this stuff, okay? I'm licensed with Epidemic Sound, so if any track I play won't get nixed.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
Exactly. All right, you beautiful angels of the Lord Jesus Christo. Go follow me on Instagram and get my book if you're a girl. You'll love it.
Actually, a little bit long on this part. Okay, I was waiting to have it hit a little bit. Nah.
No, because like sometimes girls flirt in a way of being
hit
like
the wrong button.
homies, but they
Oh, something
definitely
short.
flirting. But sometimes girls actually mean it when they say homie or gang or like bro. Like, so you never know. So like take your chance
Like,
if
take
you
your chance,
like them,
yo.
bro.
心の準備をしないと。
Japanese Easy 39.
No.
We're doing toe particle in the most simple uses using like and when listing nouns.
I gotta repair that one.
We're doing toe particle in the most simple uses using like and when listing nouns. Japanese Easy 39.
So I'm just gonna do the same stuff.
Buckle up. Buckle up, buckle up, buckle up.
Okay, I don't know if I'm in the right genre here. Beats. Yo, that's right. Japanese is easy. 39. That's right. Japanese. It's easy. 39. It's easy. 39. Dear Jesus in heaven, help me learn these words today. Tengoku Kami-sama, Jesus is easy. Jesus is easy. 39. Tengoku Kami-sama, Akuma. どうすればいいか教えてくれ. Japanese is easy. So is God. Why must we deny them both? Japanese is easy. Believing is easy. Doesn't matter what I say. You'll always believe your own dogma. Japanese is easy. 39. Believing in God is easy. 39. Oh yeah. It's easy. So easy to believe in the thing your parents told you to believe. How dare you do not believe? If you don't believe, you're going to hell because believing is easy if you only give it a chance. It's not so hard. 38. It's easy. 39. Believing is easy. 39. There is only one God, just 15 million ways to describe him. All you gotta do is choose, because choosing is easy. 39. Yeah, that's right. It's 12:01 on the 28th anniversary of my marriage to my beautiful wife. Yukari, you bring meaning to my life. I don't need religion. I don't need God. I just need you to be here. When I'm eating your curry rice And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean the actual curry rice that you make for me. That's the closest I can get to heaven without actually dying. That's right. I love everything about you. Love the way you smell. Even when you haven't showered. Matter of fact, I like it more when you haven't showered. I don't know, something sexual about that maybe. But I wasn't trying to be sexual. I'm just saying I like your curry rice. It's nice. On rice. Curry rice. So nice. Especially when I got rice. I love you. 28 years, every year getting better. Remember that song I used to sing you about loving you more today than ever? Well, I love you more today and I'll love you more tomorrow. Especially your curry rice. It's nice. Gotta have Diet Coke with ice. Makes it real nice. You also make a mean ham and cheese. More of that, please. Oh yeah, so nice. Curry rice. Diet Coke with ice. So nice. I love you, Yukari. You're the only one that means anything to me. Maybe more than that curry rice. But it's nice. Can you get me more rice? It's melted. Matter of fact, can you get me another Diet Coke while you're up? What do you mean I gotta get my own Diet Coke? You're right there. Is that a bell that you're ringing for me to get the food? Why would you ring a bell? I'm not Pavlov Zenu. Could you just bring the curry to me? Your curry's nice, but just bring it to me, damn it. Yeah. Live stream. Speak the truth. Personal truth. What I believe is what you should believe. I'm the real one, you're a weep. Personal truth. Let me spread my personal truth. Sure, you believe what you believe, but what I believe is the best belief. Personal truth. Personal truth. Rhymes with Babe Ruth. I'm running out of things to say, but that's okay, because I believe in what I want to believe. Personal truth. Yeah. Yeah, I'll listen to your Muslim book. I'll put the Quran in my e-book library. But in the end, you might be disappointed because I have a personal truth. Oh yeah, let's get that steam in here. Heating up my personal truths. Yeah, you're angry because I don't believe what you believe, but you know I got the best belief. You just don't believe what I believe. My personal truth. With a Babe Ruth. Never been to Duluth. Don't know what else to rhyme with either, but it doesn't matter because I believe I'm the best. That's all that matters. I've got my personal truth. Babe Ruth. I went to the dentist and told him I got a bum tooth. And he said, you've always had that bum tooth. Just believe it'll be better and it will be. Personal truth. Yeah, that's all that matters. Personal truth. As if you'd believe anything else anyway, except for your personal truth. Although, like I said before, you should believe what I believe, because I have the best belief out of all the beliefs. It's my personal truth. Yeah. Personal truth. I'm the best. If I was a baseball player, I'd be Babe Ruth. That's right, personal truth. Ain't no ruse. It's my personal truth. I can't lie to myself, so I'll lie to you. To you it's a lie, but to me it's true. Personal truth. Believe what you want to believe. It doesn't matter, but you should believe what I believe, because my belief is the best of all the beliefs. It's my personal truth. Should I delete this stream? Probably, because it's kind of dumb, but it's my personal truth. And that's all that matters. Don't care what you say, don't care what you show me, I'll always have my personal truth. That's right. Hot sex, wanna have some hot sex. Yeah, give it to me hard. I love you, baby, like I love lard. God damn it, you can't rhyme like that. I told you you're not a rapper, you're just a streamer trying to be a rapper. Look, you don't tell me what to do, I'll tell you what to do. I'm the one that brought you into this gig. Why you hitting the fog? It ain't time for the fog, bro. Stop it. I'm trying to think. Stop the fog. I was ripping on the hot sex. You're trying to go. Okay, I get it. I see it now. The hot fog. Okay, fine. But you know what? I'm just trying to stop it with the fog. I told you to stop it with the fog. I don't know. Kind of like the fog now. Reminds me of that time I had that hot sex. Summer of 1989. I was in my bedroom with my girlfriend. I won't say her name because it's my anniversary. And you know what? I shouldn't even bring this up on my anniversary. Sure. We all had sex when we were kids, but it ain't appropriate to talk about it when you're riffing about hot sex. You should talk about the first time with your wife. That's what you should. You know what? I'm not vibing too much on this. Maybe, hey, could you do me a favor and hit that fog machine again? Thank you. I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you, Joe. You're a true friend, and I'll always love you, bro, no matter what my wife says. No. She didn't say anything negative about you. It's just that sometimes you come off a bit strong. You and your opinions about religion. You know, she doesn't even believe in God, and here you are spouting it off. But if she said one thing about Buddhism, you'd be so angry. I don't even know why. Why would you even be angry at Buddhism? All Buddhism does is try to live peaceful with people. Oh, I know you said Islam is peaceful and Christianity is peaceful, but look at all the wars they've created. Do you think that's fine? You coming over to my house, my wife trying to make some curry for you, and all you're doing is spouting off your stupid religious beliefs. All I'm just trying to do is have this Diet Coke and eat my Baby Ruth, because that's all I got here. I got my wife, curry rice, and my personal truth. Guys, I think I've outstayed my welcome. I think we should end when I'm on the top here. Oh my God. Guys, I'll see you another day. Thanks for coming. It's been a pleasure. Peace. Oh yeah.